Bulls Nation, after a tremendous victory against the New York Knicks just last night, today we've got a video that is going to appreciate one of the most underrated players for the Chicago Bulls this season. And if you don't watch the games or you don't necessarily really take part in actually seeing some of the things that this guy does, then maybe you don't really know this. But today I want to talk about one of the best bench players and someone that has had so much to prove since last season. I want to talk about Thaddeus Young. Without further ado, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls and Thaddeus Young in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls video in relation to Thaddeus Young and just how good he's been for the Chicago Bulls this season and how much one season truly makes a difference to all of our opinions of Thaddeus Young from last year to this year. And it's been a massive improvement, if I do say so myself, and he's definitely worth some appreciation. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. At the end of the day, I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but I really wanted to make this video because I've just been so happy with how Thaddeus Young has performed as of late, and I can't get out of my mind just how night and day his performances have been from last season to this season. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and hopefully we can get a little bit more appreciation towards Thaddeus Young, because I know a lot of people, we talk about the starters a lot. We talk about Zach LaVine, how good Zach LaVine is, how important he is. We talk about how Larry Markkanen's doing very well. We've been talking about Wendell Carter's injuries, Kobe White's struggles, Patrick Williams is a good rookie. We talk about all these things, but the bench, as good as it is, doesn't get a whole lot of appreciation. So today, at least, I want to talk about Thaddeus Young because I feel like he deserves a lot more appreciation than what he gets. And maybe it's just me internally thinking that. I'm sure there are a bunch of Bulls fans that absolutely give a lot of respect and a lot of appreciation towards Thaddeus Young. So this video is going to be, I guess, a good thing for me and maybe for the other people that just hasn't seen how good Thaddeus Young has been. Now, I want to talk about last season a little bit about Thaddeus Young. Last season with Thaddeus Young, a lot of Bulls fans, including myself, wanted him to get traded. Now, there could be some people that still want him to get traded just because he is a very, I guess, aging player. He's not a player that will be a long-term asset for the Chicago Bulls. But last season was a different story. Last season, he was not happy. Last season, he was unsettled. Last season, under Jim Boylen, he specifically said he is not comfortable with his role with the Chicago Bulls. He doesn't know his role with the Chicago Bulls. He didn't know what to do. He wasn't comfortable standing in the three-point line on the corner and just shooting threes all game. That wasn't his game. And for the longest time last season, that's all we saw from Thaddeus Young. There wasn't many games where he was in the post trying to get a mismatch or maybe trying to create some plays from the paint. We didn't really see that a lot from Thaddeus Young last season. And I really think that took a bad effect on him. At the end of the day, everybody that knew what Thaddeus Young was all about, from Indiana, from Philly, and from any other team that he played with, he did play with a few teams in his career, but Indiana and Philly really stand out for me. We all knew that he was a good player. We all knew that he was a player that could do multiple things on the court. We all knew he could defend. We all knew he could rebound. We all knew he was a decent scorer. We all knew he was one of those players that can do anything the coach asks of him. But last season, we didn't see that, which led a lot of people to turn towards Thaddeus Young. And many people saying that he's on the decline. Well, I don't know if he's on the decline or not, but this season for the Chicago Bulls, which is night and day, from Jim Boylen to Billy Donovan, night and day difference for a lot of our players, but especially Thaddeus Young. This season, as of this time, and considering he is doing this on the bench as well, normally he's a starter in the NBA. He's doing a lot of his damage on the bench. I believe this is one of his best seasons that he's played in his career, and he's doing it in a Chicago Bulls jersey, and he's doing it off the bench. This is where my appreciation comes from with Thaddeus Young. Now again, Billy Donovan and Jim Boylan are night and day coaches as well. You can clearly see that. You can clearly see just how good our offense has jumped from last season to this season. Last season, we were bottom 3 offensive teams in the NBA, and we were also one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA as well. This season, we're one of the top teams in offensive. We're still a very bad defensive team, but offensively, we've taken a massive leap in the right direction. And a lot of that has to do with the way that Billy Donovan has moved, has played Thaddeus Young, has played Larry Marketing, and all these players, Kobe White, so many players that are taking the next step. But it's not all about the offense for Thaddeus Young. I think he's a lot happier this season than he was last year. And that specifically goes towards the post-game comments. The post-game comments of, I feel in a comfortable space, I feel happy, and I just feel like playing basketball. I feel like I'm always ready to play. Thaddeus Young said these things after his post-game interview. He feels very comfortable. He feels and he's in a good zone, and he's ready to play every single night. And it's showing in his last 3 games. In his last 3 games, he had a near triple-double in all 3 of his last 3 games. And again, will he keep this up consistently? I don't think he will. At the end of the day, he's stepping up to an injury. So I don't think he's going to keep this up for consecutive amounts of games longer than what probably this month. But the fact that he's stepping up, the fact that he's delivering in the crunch time, the fact that he's playing majority of the minutes at center, the fact that he is able to create like the way that he's doing. And think about it like this. How many players around the league is averaging a near triple-double? How many players around the league can get to a triple-double? Thaddeus Young, I don't believe has ever gotten a triple-double, but in his last 3 games, he's gotten really close. Just imagine what it would be like if he was able to get a triple-double in a Bulls jersey, and that leads to a Chicago Bulls win. That's a huge milestone in a near 10-plus career for Thaddeus Young, and he could do that accomplishment with the Chicago Bulls. So by all means, I hope this dude gets a triple-double one day, and I think with the way that he's playing, he's definitely not far away from it. It's sooner than later if he's going to keep this level up. But again, going back to last season, I want to talk about Jim Boylan a little bit, because I feel like with Thaddeus Young and Jim Boylan, it's almost like it represents how the Chicago Bulls was last season. And I want to give you an example here. So Jim Boylan had an effect on a lot of people, including Thaddeus Young. But I feel like this represents confusion from last season. Not necessarily hatred, not necessarily frustration. I mean, the fans expressed their hatred and frustration with Jim Boylan. The fans expressed how they felt towards the way the team was playing. Even the role of Thaddeus Young. A lot of very, very, very good intellectual people from outside of the Chicago Bulls and within the Chicago Bulls, and of course the fans, was talking about Thaddeus Young's role. But Thaddeus Young said he was confused. That's a veteran. That's a veteran player that was confused on how he's supposed to be playing basketball for this team. And that's where I think the Chicago Bulls ultimately failed last season, and probably previous seasons as well, but definitely last season. We were just confused. We were confused about how he played. Thaddeus Young was confused. Larry Marketing was confused. Larry Marketing is not just a spot-up shooter. We've seen that already this season. But that's the way he was being played, so therefore he was being confused. Zach LaVine, the star player, needed help. He was confused at how the way the offense and the defense was playing at times, leaving it all to him. He was confused. I bet Kobe White was confused when he had 2 damn near perfect months, and he didn't even get starting time until right towards the end of the season. So at the end of the day, my appreciation for Thaddeus Young is not just on the court, it's off the court as well. It's the way that he expressed how he was feeling last season, being open and honest about how last season and this season is completely different. So ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, you take this video with what you like, but in my opinion, Thaddeus Young is playing his best basketball I've seen in a long time, if not ever, in his career, and he's doing it with the Chicago Bulls. So ladies and gentlemen, he is a massive, important part towards this team, and that's what this video is about. Thaddeus Young is extremely important. He could potentially be a trade asset down the line, but right now, in this point in time, Thaddeus Young is showing out for the Chicago Bulls off of our bench, and he's doing a phenomenal job at it. And I wanted to make this video to give props to Thaddeus Young on hopefully a continuation of what he's been doing this season and what he's been doing in the last few weeks for the Chicago Bulls. At the end of the day, the bench for the Chicago Bulls has been a massive part of our success, which means Thaddeus Young, Garrett Temple, even Denzel Valentine. We don't like to give Denzel Valentine a whole lot of credit. He might not get that much game time from here on in, but he deserves a lot of praise for what he's been doing as well. Everybody on this bench is doing a fine job in the Chicago Bulls, and that is why we are leading to a very close to 500 record. But the Chicago Bulls and Thaddeus Young specifically have done a very good job this season. And at the end of the day, whether we win more games, whether we lose more games, I feel like it's important to appreciate the players that don't get that much recognition. Thaddeus Young, for the longest time in his entire career, has been the most underrated player, the most underrated teammate, the most underrated, potentially best player on the team. And I feel like he might not be the best player on our team. I don't think he is, but he is showing that he is underrated and we should give him a little bit more credit. Now, again, if you agree, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. If you disagree, you could dislike the video if you like, but also let me know in the comments below why you disagree. Let's have a conversation, because in my opinion, Thaddeus Young has been our best bench player. I know Garrett Temple is doing a phenomenal job on the bench, but Thaddeus Young has been our best bench player, and for the majority of the time, he's playing starters minutes. He's closing out games. Basically, within the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, Thaddeus Young's in there. He's the first bench player that's in there. So, again, he's just doing a wonderful job, and I feel like he deserves the recognition. This video, there's no concept behind it except for appreciating Thaddeus Young and a lot of the bench for what they've done. Maybe I'll do this more often when more bench players continue to have and prove themselves as very good players, and I'm sure there'll be more bench performances the way that Thaddeus Young is performing with other players. We will see that more often. I'm very, very sure of it. But that's it. That's basically it for this video. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Do you want me to do these with other players as well? Do you want me to give my appreciation or maybe some, I guess, concerns about some players? Because there's definitely praising and concerns on a lot of these players. And again, it's just a good moment. We've won the game against the Knicks. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. And Thaddeus Young played a massive part in it. And I feel like he deserves it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful day, Chicago Bulls fans. The next Chicago Bulls video, I believe that will be out, will be the second game reaction with the New York Knicks. Now, that game will be a later game considering when this video is uploaded. I'm actually going to check the time. I'm pretty sure it's around the same time that it was the last video, so stay tuned for that. I know it's a pretty late one for the Chicago Bulls in hindsight, but you got to do what you got to do at the end of the day, and I want to deliver those videos as quick and fast as possible and just enjoy the Bulls victory with the Bulls fans. That's it, you know, got to do what you got to do. Smile, be happy. See you in another video. Hopefully we win against the New York Knicks in another video. Take care.